Now, historically, herO does have the advantage over Dark. herO, I think he has like a 60% win rate against Dark, something like that. Nothing too major, but he does have typically the advantage over him, which is why it was really surprising. It was really exciting to see that Dark did defeat herO in that best of 5 last week. Can he do it again? Can we get a full series out of it again? I hope so. I do hope so, as we are here in the grand finals of the Korean Starcraft League, week number 28. If you want to support this tournament, !KSL in the chat to get a link to the Patreon, where you can fund the Korean League yourself, and also gain some bonuses, gain some access to replay packs. There's plenty available for you. As we get into game 1 of the finals. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the South Korean Protoss player representing CranKy Gaming. It is herO. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Zerg player, also representing CranKy Gaming. It is Dark. Now, these two are good friends. They do banter between each other. They were teammates in the 2v2 team league as well. And they're also going to be facing again for the second week in a row in the finals of the KSL. I mentioned earlier, but Dark did win last week. Can herO redeem himself, or will we have a repeat? Let's go. What I love though about these two players, especially about herO, is that herO does have a lot of variety. He brings a lot to the table, lots of different builds, a lot of different play styles. He typically doesn't play the same 2 games in a row in a series, or in the same series. So my eyes are really on herO. I mean, I say they're on herO. What makes Dark unique as a player compared to Solar, for example, or DRG, is that Dark, he often likes to dictate the pace of the game himself. Like, he likes to force the Protoss to react to him, which is a really interesting dynamic, just because Zerg is typically the reactive race. And because of that, it's a little bit hit and miss. Sometimes, you know, Dark, he's like, okay, I'm going all in. I'm gonna, you know, go for a big Roach Queen Nidus or Waddle across the map. And if it gets scattered ahead of time, then herO does typically defend against it. So it can be difficult to catch herO off guard in that way. Which is why Dark has struggled historically, because whenever he does go all in against herO, herO defends. So we'll see. We'll see how this does turn out. So far, Stargate opener from our Protoss. Nothing too fancy, nothing too crazy. Everything as it should be, for now. The Stargate is a little bit further out, so this should be for an Oracle, but we have seen a lot of Void Ray or even Phoenix openers from herO. Ling is going to slip in, but the Adept is waiting for it, and it will force it back. There it is. It is indeed an Oracle first from our herO. Meanwhile, Dark just going to be saturating his bases. Just going to be droning up. I'm sipping my tea. Getting ready for this. And here we go. herO is going to be moving out with his first 2 Adepts. Going to be threatening some Shades. Going to be keeping an eye on what Dark is up to. Again, Dark, he was able to take his natural base. So he has a pretty solid setup here on Dragon Scales. Sorry, on Royal Blood. As, ooh, herO, he throws down 2 more gates behind this. Very interesting. Okay. Again, typically you don't get your 3rd gateway this early on. I'm curious as to the plan from herO. He doesn't delay his 3rd base for too much longer, as he does take his 3rd back at home. Just making sure that the Lings are busy with these Adepts. Oracle as well, going to be supporting them. And herO hasn't done any critical damage yet. Well, Pulsar Beam is forced to be activated, and herO, he has to get the hell out of here. At the same time, Dark is going all in. He's waddling his queens across the map. He's cutting workers here at 34. herO, did he realize that there was no saturation at the 3rd as the Lings are moving out? And herO, he needs to prepare back at home. He needs to defend. He can warp in 3 units at a time, but he is not ready at his 3rd. He needs to prepare at his natural instead. Shield battery is on the way. Lings are revealing themselves. I don't think herO has spotted the queens. I don't think he knows. And I don't like this. 3 shield batteries. I don't think we need to hold on to the third base. I don't think we can. Oof. And the Lings, they get us around. Adepts are going down. This reaction from herO, it does feel too late. A little bit too haphazard. As Dark is going to be diverting his attention to the natural. We have a Bane nest behind this, the Bane Bust, if we need to. The 3 shield batteries are done, but they're not really impacting this at all. As the natural is about to be compromised, Cybercore barely doesn't go down. And now Darky rotates over towards the third base. We are continuing Oracle production, but that's what the queens are for. As Dark is looking to bust into the natural. Banelings are on the way. The wall is solid for now, but that is soon not to be the case. And here we go. Dark going towards that third base instead. Banelings are waddling on in. There are no force fields available, and this third base is going to be broken. The Oracles are across the map. There's nothing to kill. There's nothing to kill, Floppy. The Oracles, they do nothing. The Banelings connect. The Adepts go down. And so will this third base. Now, what's important is that herO, I mentioned earlier, he can afford to lose the third. The third does not matter for herO. He's already ahead. He's ahead in the economy. He's ahead in workers. And the Oracles... Yo, can they kill the third hatchery? This is big. This is actually huge. Queens are coming back home and they will save it. Ay, ay, ay. The third will be saved. If the hatchery was killed, that would have been a big hit here to Dark. The Oracles instead, they head into the main base. They're getting a lot of drones. They are keeping the economy low here from the Zerg player. As this is still up in the air. Dark, he's droning his heart out. This third base is low from earlier, and it could potentially be picked up. As herO, he's setting up on 2 bases, going for a massive gateway explosion, working towards charge and Archons. Oracles do threaten these bases. There are plenty of queens in position though, and Dark does defend his main and his natural, forcing those Oracles out. Meanwhile, herO, he's finally breaking free from his bases. He is set up for a 2-base all-in. He has a lot of gateways. Third base is thrown down. We'll see if herO does intend on saturating it. But yeah, we're in a really weird position. I think the most interesting thing is that Dark still doesn't have a lair. Dark was on hatch tech this entire time. Without a lair, he actually can't really tech up further. It's going to be a while until he has Roach Speed, no Hydras, no Spire, no 4th base. This is actually still pretty even. I say even. I think I still want to give the edge to herO. He's just getting a more refined army. If he can hold on to his third base, then I think herO can look good. The question becomes, though, is Dark going to be cutting workers here? He's up to 65 workers. He's basically on 3-base saturation once he has his gas geyser up and running. And it looks like Dark is getting ready for a follow-up all-in. The creep highway is looking pretty good. The queens are pushing forward. Roaches are on the way. And yeah, Dark is looking to hit hard. Now, he has to be careful not to overextend. I don't know if we want to hit without Roach Speed, as Roach Speed is still in production. Still on the way. Until then, Dark is going to be joining. Going to be saturating his bases. If Dark takes... does have all of his gases. I was going to say, if he drones up even further from here, then he could just go for a longer game. Still undecided if Dark wants to go all in or not. But he's run up to 75. Pretty good economy. Now he is avoiding the infestation pit. He's avoiding the hive tech. Avoiding things like hydrodens or lurkers. Still just committed here to Roachling Bane. And herO is going to be able to build up because of this. And these Archons, they're doing a great job of just keeping Dark busy. Creep continuing to spread towards the bases here of herO. Slowly encroaching. Now, what's a little bit concerning, herO, he does have a good immortal count. I would love to see either Colossus or Disruptors. I would love to see some other form of splash damage. We don't have Storm either. Whether it's Colossus, Disruptors, or Storm, I think we need one of them. Oh no! Ooh, as the Prism goes down, 2 Archons go down for free. Aye, aye, aye. A brutal loss here for herO. And now Dark, he has nothing to worry about. He can focus on his attack. Bathing speed is done. Dark about to max out. And can herO hold on to this base? Can he hold on to his third? He's trying to work on a 4th base, which... I mean, I don't know if we're going to get that... if this game is going to last that long. Dark flirting with the idea of pushing in. So we got 26 more Lings in production, 11 more Banelings. Oh, big Stasis Trap over on the left-hand side. Stasis Traps the force fields as well. So far, herO fighting well. He's even pushing forward, but that Stasis Trap is about to run out. And we are running out of force fields. The sentry goes down to the Immortals. The Immortals are exposed. The Stalkers, they blink back and every single Immortal is going to be going down. Only one is left. That was an incredible trade for Dark. Getting, what was that, 4 or 5 Immortals? He doesn't even have to keep on pushing. But he takes down the shield battery. He takes down the overcharge. Yeah, from here, Dark is snowballing out of control. There are no high-tech units remaining. There is no backbone to this army, not anymore. There is only that one Immortal. And from here, Dark, he's collapsing on top of said Immortal. It almost goes down. There are barely any Stalkers left. Dark has done it. GG gets called. Dark takes game number 1. GG. Again, herO, he had a good start to the fight. He had a good start to that engagement towards the end of the game. But he did overextend. He did push a little bit too far into creep. And that meant when he blinked back, he exposed his Immortals one after the other. Those were expensive losses for herO. Dark takes a lead in the series. GG. Whew. But up until that point, it was pretty close. It was pretty close because, again, Dark, he wasn't able to break the natural. He did go all in, but he only got the 3rd base. Likewise, herO was doing some counter damage across the map. Was back and forth. But in the end, Dark did take it. And now we get into game number 2. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Ancient Cistern, we have the South Korean Protoss player representing CranKy Gaming. It is herO. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Zerg player, also representing CranKy Gaming. It is Dark. herO versus Dark. Never seen this matchup before. True. For the first time today, we have herO versus Dark. I'd love to get a count on how many times we've casted these two this year alone. I want to say like 30. I want to say like 30 times. And even that sounds a little bit like I'm holding back. It's been a lot. It's been a lot. I can't complain. They always provide amazing series. And so far, Hatch Gas Pool from Dark Standard Opener. Once again, 2 games in a row. We are now loading into Ancient Cistern. And oh my god! herO losing his scouting probe. A bit of a misstep there. Very uncharacteristic here of herO. Does not bode well. But hopefully he can shake it off. Not the biggest of losses, but a loss nonetheless. As herO did go for a gate Nexus into Cybercore. So a very economic, very greedy opener here from herO. Going to be delaying his Cybercore a little bit. But you can afford to do so on Ancient Sister. And again, this map is quite large. You have a lot more freedom, a lot more breathing room. You can afford to cut some corners. You can do so. As outside of that, there it is, Stargate opener thrown down in the face of Dark. Do love to see it. And I do imagine at some point this series, we're gonna be seeing herO try to go for the carrier rush that we have been seeing from him. Again, he's been very proactive with it over the past month, or maybe 3 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks of play. Wouldn't be surprised if we see it at some point. I'm not saying we're going to see it this game, but in one of these games, we should be seeing a carrier rush. Until then, Lings are going to be coming in, going for a full scout. They do slip into the natural. Going to be disrupting the economy a little bit. Trying to get on top of that probe. Not quite able to. Ling is going to go down. But again, at least we were able to get a full scout and just make sure that nothing crazy was going on. There was no additional tech thrown down beforehand. And Dark should be feeling pretty good. Should be feeling pretty safe. Back at home, we have queens on the way. We're about to have 2 queens here in the main. We have 2 queens at the natural. The Adepts are moving out. As they move out, the Lings are moving in. Looking to contain herO and delay the third base for as long as we can. As the Oracle does head into the main base, but the Spore is done, and oh, the Oracle, a little bit of mispathing! No! Straight up mispathing there from herO, and he loses the Oracle for nothing! Ay, ay, ay. It may have been rallied with the Adepts by accident. I'm not too sure, but that was, again, very uncharacteristic. The Oracle goes down. It literally got nothing. And that is going to be a big blow to herO. It may not look like a lot, but because we lost one of these Oracles, it means that we need to keep one more back home here to defend. It means that herO suddenly can't be as aggressive or as active on the map. He's keeping these Oracles at home. He has to. But instead he moves out with the Adepts. He has a shot. He has a chance at recovering. Takes down 3 tumors. Again, at least the Oracles are at home and they're able to clean up these Lings. Oh, as Dark is going for an all-in. I like this from Dark. I really do, because Dark knows he's ahead. He knows that he's, like, the early game here from herO just has been lacking. It has been suffering, and Dark, he's just doubling down. Throws down a Nidus. Link Queen Nidus all-in from our Zerg player. A good way to just capitalize on the mistakes of herO. Adepts are trying to shade in, and can herO scout this? He will not. He will not see the Nidus. He's taking up even further into a Templar Archives, into charge. Nidus is thrown down. Lings have arrived. They force the activation of the Pulsar Beam. And the Nidus is not going to finish. Oh. Does get shut down. But at the same time, we have Lings at the third base as well, and the Oracles are out of energy. Probes are falling. Nidus is coming in to reinforce. And Dark is droning. Interesting. So Dark, it looks like he has realized that the first night has failed. So as a result, he may not have enough to end the game. He's droning heavily behind this. The queens have arrived. And we still have a lot of lings. As the oracles get across the map, the queens do bounce back as well. 7 drones go down. Pretty good damage. But essentially, Dark is content containing his opponent. How does I say that? The wall is not a wall. The lings, they're flooding into the main base. Not like this. Not like this. Can we get any damage? A couple of lings are getting into the mineral line. Pylon is going down. Nice hold position as well. But herO averts disaster. But what's important is that we are spreading creep towards the third base locations. Spire is on the way, and Dark is just droning heavily, taking all of his gases. And now the ball is in herO's court. What does he do from here? Does he go for a 2-base all-in, or does he try to take a third base? Now, he does clean up all this creep. He does take down the Nidus. Prism is on the way. I do think that an all-in here from herO is the best chance he has at winning this game. And it could work. It could work. There is a chance, and sometimes a chance is all you need. And here we go. The army is moving out. We do go for another Warping of Zealots. Archons are going to be leading the charge. And is Dark ready for it? Oh my god. Yeah, the answer is yes. He has a wall of queens. He kept them alive from earlier. He's got roaches coming out. Lings as well to catch some reinforcements. Oh, that prism takes a lot of hits already. I'm really concerned for this war prism. As here we go. We do have a couple of Zealots slipping into that third base. At the same time, Archon's also going into the main with a big warp into Zealots as well. herO trying to pull a Dark apart. Trying to find some damage here. And he kind of is. Does force a recall in the main. But roaches, for the most part, are keeping up. The hatchery survives with the transfuse. Oh. Transfuse keeps the hatchery alive. At the same time, we have a secondary army here trying to push into this mineral line. Only 5 drones go down. Somehow, we're gonna get 6, maybe 7. Not again. Oof. Only 6 drones. That is not worth it. That is not the all-in we were looking for. herO still does not have a third base. That was designed to end the game. That had to end the game. And it did. Just not in the way that he wanted it to. That was herO's chance. That was his opportunity. Now he's going for some more harass. He has 2 oracles here towards the south. He has an Epps towards the north. Oh, but this Nidus is unscattered. And we'll see if herO can keep up. Nidus does complete in the main base. Adepts do shade in towards that third. Roaches here on the front lines, and alas, they will not make it in. But the roaches do flood into the main. They get into the mineral line, they're camping the tech. The entire army of herO reacts. And all that Dark really has to do is deny this third base. Looks like he won't be able to, though. herO, he's holding. But here come the mutas. Here come the mutas. As the Spire did complete, and the mutas, they could go straight for the middle line. GG gets called. And Dark will take game number 2, 1 game away from becoming this week's KSL champion. Oh my god. GG. Again, a really powerful start here for Dark in this series. herO, he did fumble the ball at the beginning of this game. He did lose his Oracle very early on, and that just meant that he had less to scout, he had less to apply pressure to the Zerg player, and as soon as he lost that Oracle Dark, he started working towards a Link Queen Nidus all-in, something that did not get scouted, and yeah, something that did a great job at not killing herO, but crippling him, and denying the third base, allowing Dark to get further and further ahead. And herO, he needs to take a moment here to calm himself down a little bit, because again, in both these games, especially in game 2 to be fair, we saw a couple of mistakes, we saw a couple of missteps from herO. He needs to tighten it up, he needs to tighten up all over the place if he wants to fight back against Dark. Oh boy. Now, for some context, last week, herO was up 2-0 and Dark pulled off the reverse sweep, so these things have happened before. They could happen again. And the other way, I mean. Can herO do what Dark did? Can herO pull off a reverse sweep just like Dark in last week's KSL Finals? I mean, I hope we at least get a series. That's all I want. I want us to get some more games, Bobby. Give more games. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Gressvan, we have the South Korean and Protoss player representing CranKy Gaming. It is herO. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the South Korean Zerg player representing CranKy Gaming. One game away from becoming this week's champion. It is Dark. Here we go. Dark, this time force take the unnatural natural, but still going to be a hatch gas pool setup from our Zerg player. Meanwhile, the pressure is suddenly on herO to bring it all back. And again, it has been Dark being the aggressor. We saw last game going for a Link Queen Nidus all-in, and in the game before that, also going for his Queen Walker across the map with a Link Bane bust, if you do recall, on Royal Blood. herO, he needs to tighten up. Needs to be tight, just like Dark. And already, something more economic, going for a gate expand into a later Cybercore. To be fair, this is not the first time we've seen this. We saw this on Ancient Cistern as well. But on large maps like Ancients, like Altitude, like Gressvan, you can get away with these more greedy economic openers as a Protoss player against Zerg. Ooh. Meanwhile, very interesting pylon location. So this pylon, it could still mean a Stargate, but this shouldn't mean oracles. So very interesting location. He is going to be hiding his tech, whether it's a Stargate or a Twilight Council. It is going to be thrown down further back, and there it is. It is a Stargate. Now, the fact that the Stargate was thrown down behind the mineral line tells me that it's probably going to be either a Phoenix or a Void Ray opener to shut down the Overlord and to keep the follow-up hidden. So, my eyes are on herO. What do you have in store for us? Are we finally getting that carrier rush that I was talking about? We have seen herO been quite fond of it. herO, Classic, Australia, all the Protosses. They've all been dabbling and experimenting with these carrier rushes. Could we see that here from herO? Or something else. We've also seen herO go Mass Phoenix. It was last week in the KSL Finals against Dark, where he went up to, I want to say, 6 Phoenixes before revealing his hand. There it is. There's the first Phoenix. Now, it could just be 1 Phoenix into Hidden Tech, or it could be 1 Phoenix into 2, into 3, into Mass Phoenix. We'll see. As Dark is going to be losing his Scouting Overlord, and we can see that, oh, we do have a second Phoenix. Let's go. Second Phoenix is on the way. This Scout is going to be shut down. Now, what will Dark see? It looks like he barely won't make it past that mineral line. Dark will stay in the dark. Meanwhile, back at home, he's just going to be saturating his bases. He's throwing down safety spore crawlers just in case. For all he knows, it could be an Oracle follow-up. And again, winding it back here to last week's KSL finals, herO did use this to great effect. Now, if you do go up towards 5 or 6 Phoenixes, you can, one, keep them hidden. And when you finally reveal your hand, you can snowball out of control. You can hunt down Overlords, you can hunt down Queens, you can get into mineral lines. This is a great way to just gain map control, contain your opponents, get a lead, and then transition into ground toss. And there's that forge on the way. There's a forge, second gateway. Sorry, third gateway, actually. And a lot of this is reliant on herO keeping these Phoenixes hidden for as long as he can. Because he's still building up more. We have 3, yes, but we have more on the way. Oh, we have 4, actually. Soon to be 5. And here we go. herO is going to be moving out. Doesn't get spotted by these Lings. The jig is up. Dark knows he's rotating over. He pulls back his Overlords immediately. Realizes how much danger they're in. Good reaction out of Dark. The Queens are being brought forward, and yeah, these Phoenixes so far, they have done nothing. So far, Dark doing a great job at reacting, despite only having mere seconds to do so. Oh, we'll be losing one Overlord, though. It was left behind. One Overlord isn't the biggest of deals, but it's all about what else these Phoenixes can get done. They get 2 more drones, they're going to get another Overlord. They dip in between the bases. Up! They get 3 workers in total, and they're going to get even more here in the main base. You can see them just outposition these Phoenixes, dragging them left and right. No! An overextension. 1 Phoenix goes down. That was a bit of a mistake from herO, but 1 Phoenix for 3 Overlords and 7 drones, worth it for the Protoss. Meanwhile, back at home, we're transitioning into ground toss. Not just any kind of ground toss. That's a lot of Phoenixes. Sorry, that's a lot of Sentries, and soon to be a lot of Immortals. This is going to be very Soul Train-esque, very old school. Something that we're missing, Twilight Council. There's no Twilight Council, which means no Blink, no Charge, no Glaives. Vanilla Gateway units with Immortals are going to be coming out. So this is going to be a really strong push. Phoenixes are going to lead the way. They get a couple more drones, Adepts, a Shade until they get dropped into the main base. More workers are going down. This is a 3 base all-in, by the way. A 3rd base has been taken, but we are not saturating this base at all. herO is just building up towards 1 big push. And behind it, he's doing a great job at crippling the economy of Dark. 14, oh my god. 14 drones go down. Phoenixes are coming back in. Getting another drone. And here comes the all-in. What do we have to work with? We have 2 Immortals, 5 Sentries. And what are they up against? They're up against a handful of Roaches. No, we're taking up into an infestation pit. Dark is droning. Dark is misreading the situation. Ay. He did not scout this ahead of time. He did not see the army. And now that it's here, Dark has nothing to deal with it. He has Queens and 2 Roaches. Soon to be 2 Ravagers. The boys, they have to be pulled. Dark has nothing else to deal with this. Ravagers are being lifted. Force fields are thrown down. There's no way to deal with the force fields either. The Queens, they can't engage. Cannot engage. Ay. And herO is looking to fight back, is looking to put a point on the board. GG gets called, and herO, he fights back. He takes game 3. GG. Oh my god. GG, well played. Fun fact, herO did this exact same build last week. Last week against Dark. Was it against Dark or was it against someone else? Trying to think. We did see herO be dominant over DRG. I do remember that. But yeah, this is not the first time that we've seen herO do this. Basically, just go into Mass Phoenix initially into a 3 base all-in, or technically a 2 base all-in. Like the 3rd was fake, the 3rd was not saturated, and yeah, this can catch players off guard. I want to say maybe we've seen that against Solar. I want to say maybe we've seen that. But a really strong build from herO that he has been playing around with recently with success. And And now we're getting into our next game. Can herO keep up the momentum? Can he force the ace match? Can we squeeze out a little bit more out of these two players? As much of a Dark fan as I am, I would love to get into a game 5, but it's not up to me. It's up to this player here. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of Neo Humanity, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the Red Protoss representing CranKy Gaming. It is herO. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Zerg player, also representing CranKy Gaming. It is Dark. Dark, one game away from becoming this week's KSL champion. Meanwhile, herO, he has started the comeback. He was down 2-0. Can he continue it? Can he keep it up? Or does his run end here and now? Oh. As Dark takes the center base, he throws down his... He's throwing it all down. He's whipping it out. He says, what are you going to do about it? The center base has been taken. Now, this doesn't have to mean all in, but this could lead to an all in. Basically, this center base grants you access to the refreshing gas geyser, which of course does boost your roach production. This also means that your creep is spread across the map much faster as well, as you're already halfway through. And again, it doesn't take too long to knock down these rocks and to commit to a queen roach all in. So you can be very aggressive with this, or you can play standard. You know, Dark, he has the option, and herO is aware, as he has scouted that center base location. And I'm sure herO is going to be very paranoid about what Dark could do on Neo Humanity. Again, Dark, he doesn't have to go for an all-in, and he doesn't, but he has some room to work with, right? He's leading the series. He is ahead. He can throw caution to the wind. Will he? Link speed is being researched. Okay, so he's not going to be skipping link speed. Interesting choice. Center base is being taken. Meanwhile, behind this, herO just going for a gate cyber expand. Much more standard opener. He's not rushing into the Nexus before the Cybercore, not like he did previously, because we are on Neo Humanity, as he does throw down the Stargate as a part of the wall. Bold move, but he does wall off. Meanwhile, the Adept gets across the map. Going to be applying pressure here to this center base. Does get behind the mineral line as well. Going to be abusing this location, not quite getting any drone kills, but is denying mining time, as Dark is making more lings. Is he going to make any more drones? Dark is cutting... Okay, there we go. I was like, mate, that's a lot of lings, Poppy. What's going on? But no, okay, he is droning, making a couple more workers. Just cut workers a little bit earlier on to be safe. And with these things, he is going to be shutting down these adepts. Or going to be trying to. Oh my god, as the adepts, they do bust into the main base. They clean up all the lings. And they force a bigger reaction out of Dark. 2 drones go down and a lot of lost mining time. Behind this, 2 more gates are thrown down. herO, he is staying on 2 bases a little bit longer. Okay, he's mining out these patches. It looks like his third base is going to be the linear third base. So a bit of a delayed base from herO. First Oracle gets across the map, gets 5 worker kills. It takes a lot of hull damage though before being forced back. And again, herO, he's taking it slow and steady. As he moves in, Dark is in position though. Does get eyes on the third location, as Dark hasn't taken that center gas geyser. Even though he has potential to maybe go into roaches and to hyperfixate on gas income. It's something that Dark hasn't been prioritizing. As the Oracles dip between the bases. Oh, they catch some transferring workers. Oof, 3 drones and some lava going down. Big losses. Big losses here for Dark. You can see that his economy has been shot from the early game as well. He's still on 31 workers. Very low. And herO is not letting up. Adepts are making their way across the map. We have 3 oracles to support them as well. Dark may be in a bit of trouble. The adepts say don't commit. herO is just going to be dancing with the idea. We have charge on the way behind this. Do we have a forge? No forge, by the way. Interesting move. The lack of forge screams all in, by the way. 4 gateways in addition to the 3 that we have. 7 in total. This could be the beginnings of an 8-gate all in. There's that robo, at least for a war prism. But without a forge, we don't really have any more upgrades on the way. With this army is not going to scale well into the mid game. Rocks are being knocked down. Roach is on the way. Dark, he's cutting workers very early. Okay. As much as herO is setting up for a 3-base all-in, so is Dark, because Dark is pushing through the center of the map. We were talking about these all-ins earlier. He's taking his rich resting gas geyser. He's cutting workers at 37. He's pushing through the center with everything he has. And he's pushing into a Dark Shrine. Oh my god. This has been spotted. herO knows. hero's getting ready. Shield batteries are on the way. Zealots are pushing forward. Bold move here by herO to try to meet the army. Okay, he does deny those tumors. He's going to try to slow this down. Dark is droning. Okay, this is rough. Look at how low the worker count is. Dark, he's got a lot of droning to do, but it looks like he has lost faith here in his attack. He doesn't believe. He doesn't believe he can end the game, and because of that, oh god. Like, he's not in the best economic position. Takes down an oracle. But he's losing more drones. Okay, so it's a bit of a give and take, right? It's like Dark's economy is in shambles, it's in the gutter. At the same time, herO doesn't have the best army either, just because he's not going for any forges. But he does have disruptors on the way, so even though herO doesn't have the best army, I think it's still going to be better than Dark's. We'll see. This Dark is slowly saturating his bases. He's now working towards a lair. Such a late lair. Again, late roach speed. +1 range now starts. There's that forge on the way for herO, so he is thinking about a longer game. I just love that I'm pretty sure both players were planning for their own all-ins, and then they both, like, bounce off each other. And now we're going for a longer game, but it's still, like, really awkward for both players as well. As gases are being taken. herO should be working towards a 4th momentarily. Likewise, Dark working his own 4th base. DTs come in, but they do get shut down. 2 of them do at least. And in my eyes, at least, the edge here goes to herO just because of the disruptors. Like, the disruptors, they add so much to this army. Like, it's an awkward army to control because the chargers are going to be rushing in and the Novas are going to be rushing in, and it can sometimes be awkward to make sure that there's no splash damage or no friendly fire, sorry. So a really awkward army, but powerful nonetheless, if controlled well. +1 on the way. Likewise, Dark trying to slip into that spire. The oracles do dip into the main base. 3 workers go down. And again, this is kind of like the calm before the storm, where both players are building themselves up. Dark, he's going to be getting up to 3 base saturation. 69 drones, nice. Spire will finish, unscouted as well. Nova goes off and does clip those roaches in the end. Good Nova here from herO. He's going to be rotating around. Dark trying to keep up with him. Mutas are on the way. Do we have Blink? We do. Blink is done. Archons are out. herO will have an answer, but will he have the answer? The Disruptor's looking a little bit exposed. One of them will go down. Likewise, though, the Queens are being pounced upon by those Zealots, by those Charge Lots. Files won't quite connect, and yeah, herO, he's just zoning Dark away from his own bases. The Mutas, they've arrived, but they can't really engage. Oof. As the Novas do connect, the center base is going to be going down. A herO getting on top of this third base as well. And Dark just can't engage this. He can't push in. He has to avoid the army instead. Mutas do make their way across enough. They do force the defensive warp in. Can Dark maybe catch these disruptors? Up! Up! He wants them! He gets 1! He gets 2! Oh, he's gonna get all 3. Oh my god. Does he get 4? No shot. He gets 4! He gets every single disruptor. Big pickups here from Dark. Meanwhile, 8 probes go down. The Mutas, they were enough of a distraction. Dark, can he pull this off? He gets another disruptor. 1 Nova goes off. 1 Nova out of 7 disruptors. Big losses for herO. But the Stalkers, they blink on 4. They get on top of the Roaches. They get on top of the Ravagers. And herO, he's still taking a good fight. Ay, ay, ay. Both players are bruised, but Dark, he lost 2 hatcheries. That's the downside. The armies, they traded with each other relatively evenly. Dark, he lost a lot of Roaches. He reset the disruptor count. But winding it back, Dark, he lost hatcheries. He lost bases. He's on 2 bases mining. That's it. Dark cannot sustain himself. herO can. herO's on 4 bases, soon to be 5. He has a strong economy. The Mutas barely touched him. herO, he's on 81 probes. And herO is about to snowball out of control. Dark, he's long distance mining from everywhere because that's all he can do. And he's stuck with Roach Ravager. No Hydras, no Lurkers, no no Hive Tech, no Vipers. That's why I said no Vipers earlier. Just, this is all we have. Roach Ravager. And here comes herO. About to max. Can Dark somehow pull off a defense? So Nova does connect, takes down some Ravagers. Another Nova goes off as well. And even without these Purification Novas, I do think that herO would have too much. He does have a Warp Prism in the main base. The Zealots do warp in. GG gets called. It's just too much. And herO ties up the series 2-2. We're going to the ace match. We're going all the way to game number 5. Oh my god. GG. herO 1 game away from doing what Dark did last week. 1 game away from pulling off the reverse sweep. Meanwhile, Dark still just needs 1 more. Onomas, 1 more game to end it all. It all ends on altitude. This is what I love about the Korean matchups. You know, in ESL Americas, you know, with all these Europeans, with all these Americans, we barely get to see Near Humanity, we barely get to see Altitude, but we see them both here quite often in these best of series. The Koreans, they're not afraid. They like it, puppy. They like the unorthodox maps out there. It all ends on the largest map in the map pool. Oh boy. Here we go. Game 5. Really, the only way this could end is a Game 5. Here we go. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Altitude, we have the South Korean Protoss player representing Dragon KyZ Gaming, clawing his way back from the brink of defeat. It is herO. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Zerg player representing CranKy Gaming. It is Dark. Uno mas. One more game is all he needs. It's all he's needed this entire time. Oh my god. He had such a lead in this best of 5. But alas, he's just been so close yet so far from that win. And herO has been tenacious. Again, there were some missteps earlier on. Like game two was rough for herO. Game 2 was nothing went right for herO in game 2. But since then, he has tightened up. He has brought it back. And now it all comes down to this final game. To altitude. Now, some features of this map. Of course, it's big, it's large, it's huge, it's massive. Does allow for longer games as a result. There's a lot of bases to be taken. You can be more turtley on a map like Altitude. If there were a map for herO to rush into Skytoss, this would be it. But the problem with that is that, do you do that against Dark? We've seen how aggressive Dark is. We've seen at the drop of a dime, Dark is willing to go all in. He throws out a Nidus. He just sends everything across the map. Cuts workers early on. Dark, he's looking for weakness. He's looking for you being a little bit too greedy, and he is willing to punish. He's more than willing to punish you. So unlike some of these other Zerg players, it can be difficult. It can be difficult to cut corners and be greedy. It can be difficult to take up too much against a player like Dark. So we'll see. See where we go. For now, Pylon is thrown down in the main base in between both the main and the natural. It is going to be a Stargate opener. Not the most hidden Stargate, but it is, you know, a little bit further back nonetheless, which is curious to me. Very curious. My eyes are on you, herO. What is the plan? What do we do after the first unit? We've already seen Mass Phoenix. We've already seen going up to, I think it was 5 Phoenixes into a 2-base all-in. We're not going to see that again. Are we going to see a Void Ray instead? I could see that. So now Dark is getting his 3rd base up and running. Just attach gas pool. We're going to be droning. There is the Void Ray first from herO. Okay. We have the first piece of the puzzle. The Void Ray is going to be hunting down these Overlords. Is going to be keeping Dark in the dark. Do we throw down a Fleet Beacon afterwards? Is this the map? Are we going for it? I've been hyping it up all day. Or do we go for something different? So the other thing we could go for is Twilight Council after this into Glaive Adepts. That is something that we've been seeing quite a lot of from SOS. So that's over the course of the GSL qualifiers over the past couple of days. Void Ray comes out, and it's going to be an Oracle afterwards, so a standard follow-up. Okay. We're not going too crazy here. Overlord goes down, 2 Adepts, a Shade into the main base. They can one-shot workers, and 1 drone goes down. And they're barely going to get a 2nd as well. Oh, and a 3rd. And a 4th. Oh. 4 drones. Pretty good damage here for 2 Adepts. Back at home. 3rd base is on the way. 2nd Oracle is coming out to protect that 3rd. And that Void Ray doesn't just get 1 Overlord, it's going to get a 2nd Overlord. Supply blocking Dark. Quite a hefty supply block as well, but okay, he does break free from it. Does break free in the end. As the Oracle does find an exposed mining base. Spore isn't done. Queens aren't in position. At the same time, we do have a Link counterattack, but no, we have Adepts in position as well. herO, he defends. And he also gets 3 drones across the map for only a bit of hull damage. A good start here from herO. And it is a standard follow-up. Okay. We have a Twilight Council and a Forge. It should be for +1 and Blink. It could be +1 in charge. We'll keep an eye on herO to see which direction he goes in. But for the most part, it's nothing too fancy. He's just maintaining map control and looking to harass his opponent to pull Dark apart, and so far he's done so. Looking at the units lost tab, he's lost 2 adepts for 7 drones and 2 overlords. Really good trades here from herO. Can he trade even better, as he still has his oracles alive? He still has potential for damage as he dips between the bases. Adepts are going to be threatening those shades. We have 2 adepts into the 3rd. We have 2 adepts into the natural. And we do commit. Oh. This is becoming a bit much. 6 drones go down. 2 more adepts shade into the natural as well. And it looks like we get a 7th drone and an 8th. Thankfully not a 9th until now, as the oracles dive into the main and Dark is being pulled apart. I don't think he's set up for an all-in either. It's really awkward to do it on altitude, as he has to just drone. Big losses here for Dark. 21 drones, only for adepts. And the problem is he can't counterattack. He's trying to, but back at home we have plenty of stalkers. We have a shield battery, we have an overcharge, we have some decent SimCity. Oh god, not like this! I didn't realize we have +1 air attack and we are getting into carriers. This is not how I wanted this, but herO, he knows he's ahead. He knows that he does have the freedom to tech up, and he's rushing into Skytoss. Fleet Beacon and a 2nd Stargate. And like really, what kind of danger is he in? He's not in any danger. There's nothing that Dark can do. He can't stop this. He can only keep up. As I say that, we have Lings moving out. They have map control. Dark is still droning. Infestation bits on the way. Evo chambers as well. Just because Dark has been losing too many workers, he's just been stuck re-droning, resaturating, taking his gases, teching up. He doesn't really have aggressive potential to do anything anytime soon. He can maybe deny the 4th. That is something that he could do with all these Lings. As I say that, here we go. He is headed for that 4th base. Stalker's not quite in position, but Dark, not able to get us around, is forced back. Now, thankfully, Dark is being really tech heavy. The infestation bit just finished. He can rush into a hive. He can throw down a spire. The problem is that he still hasn't. There's nothing telling him to do so. He hasn't scouted. He needs to. It's just he's been lacking map control. Without seeing these carriers, they may just end the game. Like, a hive is on the way. That's great and all, but if he had known ahead of time, then he could start a spire or a hydrogen or a spire, really. Oh boy. Now, what's interesting is the Lings, oh, they do push up the ramp. He does see it researching. He knows. He sees the Cybercore researching. Did he realize what was happening? Pathogen glands get started. Where is the spire? As for now, he's focusing on his ground army, and something that I should point out as well is that we aren't hyper-fixated on Skytoss. It's only 2 carriers. So herO, basically, he's going to have 4 carriers in the air to support, but he's not going to have much else. He's still going to be heavily reliant on a ground army. That's why he's working on charge. That's why he's going for all these warp bids as well. I'm curious if he's gonna stop at 4 or if he's gonna keep on going. Very curious. Just because I know that herO has been going for these 4 carrier pushes where he only makes 4 and then he's just got ground toss for everything else. And it looks like he's making 6. Okay, he's still going. He can't stop. He won't stop. There's no reason to stop. I mean, the supply block is stopping him, to be fair. I mean, that's quite brutal. I mean, he just wasted some chrono boost, which is it's not good, not ideal. Bit of a feels bad, man. But it's okay. The pylon's finished. This is fine. Mama ship's on the way, +2 attack. I'm concerned that Dark didn't see the Cybercore researching, just because he's working on an Ultra Cavern. He does have plenty of Infestors, and I think he has Neural. No, sorry, he doesn't have Neural. I think he's misread the situation a little bit. I think Dark would be fine if he had a Spire. It's just he doesn't. And here we go. Dark is maxed. Dark is moving out. Is going to be distracted by this Warp Prism. Now, the other reason why I'm harping on Aspire is not necessarily for like early Corruptor production, but upgrades. It's very important that you start upgrades early on because it takes a long time to really get into them. I'm talking about air upgrades, of course. +1 flyer attack, +1 flyer defense. There it is. The carriers have been revealed. Now Dark knows for certain. Spores are repositioning. And yet Dark, he has to get rid of some of these roaches. You have to free up some supply. And he's focusing on Infestors. Meanwhile, Zelts are pulling him apart. Ling Roach pushing in. But alas, this is going to get cleaned up. Now, Dark does have a bank. He has a decent amount of queens. So it looks like Dark is going to be relying on queens and Microbial Shroud. That's it. Is it Microbial Shroud? Is that what it's called? Yeah. Okay. No, sorry, Microbial Cloud. That's it. I was like, I'm pretty sure it's Blinding Cloud, right? No, yeah, Blinding Cloud, Microbial Shroud. Okay, yeah. I'm getting them mixed up. I always get them mixed up. But yeah, that's gonna be his anti-air of choice. And here we go, herO. He's pushing through the center. Neural is not done. Yeah, and here we go. The shrouds are thrown down. Carriers are being forced back. But here comes the mothership. And do we have detection? Big fungals. The fungals are helping. The shroud is helping as well. It's doing what it can. Good target firing on the carrier. First carrier will fall. But it feels like they're just maybe too much Protoss. Oh my god. As the Infestors are running out of energy. Yeah, and I think that's going to be the final shroud here for Dark. Meanwhile, some of these carriers are going down. Good target firing. But we just we just pull back. We go for a big warp in, and it looks like this may just be too much as the Zealots do get on top of the Queens. And there just wasn't a good answer to these carriers. I appreciate that Dark brought what he brought forward. Up! As he doesn't quite get the carriers in the end. herO just slowly pulling them back before they go down. The Shroud is slowly running out. Not like this. I mean, hey, the Ultras, they can go for a counterattack thing, maybe get something done. Another big fungal. These carriers are very low, and there is no detection. Meanwhile, across the map, the Ultras are pushing on through. Can Dark somehow make this work? He still refused to throw down the Spire, by the way, still relying on Queens. As Dark can maybe come in from behind, but oh no. The Queens are going down one after the other, and there is no answer to these carriers. Across the map, the Ultras are doing what they can, but we have Stalkers coming in to reinforce. We have Immortals in production as well. They will be depowered. Big depower on these robos. But the Ultras are going down one after the other, and again, there was just never a solid answer to these carriers. It just was a late scout. There was no neural as it's finally being researched. That could have been the game changer, by the way. If we had like 2-3 neurals on even a handful of these carriers, and that could have been it. That could have been the difference. But alas, again, Dark just wasn't quite ready for it. You rarely get to see Microbial Shrouds as well, so I appreciate that we got to bear witness once again. Part of me liked it, part of me didn't. As Dark loses a couple of these fringe bases, DTs are coming in. Thankfully, we have fungals available, and we will shut this down. But Dark, he's heavily supply blocked. He's down to 140 supply, and herO is rotating on over. Now, this time we do have herO, so Dark could potentially take a fight. There's no high tempo for feedbacks. Dark has to take it slow and steady as another base goes down. And even if Dark did take a fight, it's like herO, he has such a solid economy behind this. He's got 5 bases up and running. And herO doesn't overcommit. He's taking it slow. He denies a base, backs off, rotates around. There's nothing forcing herO to push into the natural or into the third. So I appreciate how patient herO is. Doesn't want to throw this away. There we go, the Newells are coming in. A good start here for Dark. First carrier is gonna go down, and he's trading well. Oh, but can he keep it up? As the Ultras are falling one after the other. Oh, the Infestors as well, and it's just too much Protoss. GG gets called. herO pulls off the reverse sweep, and he will be this week's KSL champion. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations to herO, as things were looking rough. He was down 2-0. He won 3 games back to back to become this week's champion. Congratulations. He pulled a Dark. Dark did it last week. herO does it this week. They really do go back and forth. They really do go back and forth, and congratulations to herO in the end for taking it all. A shout out as well to SC2 Full. Thank you so much. Happy sausage Jamie to you. Bellissimo, bellissimo. GG, well played. Those wondering, Dark did pull off a reverse sweep last week against herO, winning 3-2. This week it was herO's turn. This week it was herO's turn, and talking about altitude a little bit, again, herO was looking, in the driver's seat from almost the beginning, even before the carriers. Remember, herO, he was just pulling Dark apart. He killed over 20, I think it was 28 drones for only a handful of adepts. Like, herO was pulling Dark left and right. Dark could not keep up with the adept and the Oracle harass, and because herO did so much damage, that's why he was able to rush into the Fleet Beacon, into the Stargate, into the 4th base. That's why herO was able to get away with so much, because he had crippled the economy of Dark, and Dark wasn't able to all-in from there. He wasn't set up for an all-in, especially on altitude, especially on such a large map, so he couldn't quite shift gears and try to salvage the situation. Dark had to just macro from that point, and he was behind. And he clawed his way back in. He maxed out, yes, but he also didn't see the carriers in time to be able to have a solid enough response. He had committed by that point. By the time he saw the carriers, he's like, okay, Queen Infestor, that's what I have, Queen Infestor, and it wasn't good enough, unfortunately. Was not good enough. Maybe if he had Neural for the first fight, maybe then. But outside of that, without some more consistent anti-air, we saw how much Dark did struggle facing off against that kind of army composition. So, GG, well played. Congratulations. Congratulations to herO, and a shout out to Dark as well, because even though Dark may not have won this tournament, he did make for a great finals. And I think that's what's important, right? Like, well, I think that's important to point out, is that this was a great series, and it wouldn't have been anywhere near as fun if we had any kind of lesser player here to face off against herO. herO and Dark, they bring the best out of each other, and that's what's, again, that's what's important for them, I'm sure, when it comes to practicing and improving as players, is that they challenge each other week after week to make sure that they continue to improve, they continue to build upon themselves. Congratulations. Congratulations. Ah. And with that, I hope everyone enjoyed themselves. I hope everyone had a great time in the chat. Again, this event was a replay cast. It was live only a couple of hours ago, and we were unable to cast it live, unfortunately, but at least we were able to bring you guys the replays merely a couple of hours after. And yeah, if you enjoyed the tournament, !KSL in the chat. You will get a link. We'll, of course, get a link to the Patreon to support this tournament. You can also support this tournament via Matcherino. And a shout out to Dave Testa and Chicken Man, as they do host this event. They do organize it. They do, or they are behind the Patreon as well. And without Dave, without Chicken Man, this event would not be possible. So thank you. Thank you so much. Do always appreciate it. And yeah, thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in as well. I'm still not 100%. I apologize if you heard me muting constantly, but I was just constantly blowing my nose. I'm still not recovered, but we're on the road. We're on the road to recovery. We're getting better every time. And yeah, it was good stuff. Good StarCraft. Meanwhile, if you want some more StarCraft action, we're going to be back in a couple of hours. Let me just double check the calendar here, but we will be live in, what is that? 10 hours time? Around 10 hours with the Tenacious Turtle Tussle with our own tournament. Those wondering, what the hell is turtles? What? Yeah. yeah, Bobby. The turtles. The Tenacious Turtle Tussle is our own region-locked bi-weekly tournament. It is region-locked to the regions of North America, Latin America, Oceania, and Southeast Asia. Basically, we exclude the Europeans and we exclude the Koreans as well to support some of these smaller regions instead and some of these smaller player bases. So we are going to be hosting that event in 10 hours time, so make sure you're there for that tournament. It's always a lot of fun. We get to feature players like Hon Mono and Nice, sometimes Trigger, sometimes Estrella, sometimes Future. They pop in from time to time. They're not as consistent as I would like them to be, but I do know that Estrella is preparing for GSL, and I think Future is back in America, so I don't know how much free time he has anymore. But regardless, our event is going to be in 10 hours, so be sure to be there. Mark your calendars. Mark your calendars. It's going to be a lot of good fun. Outside of that, you can follow us on social media, !socials in the chat to get a link to our Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Discord if you wish. Outside of that, thank you. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for your support. We'll see you guys in a couple of hours for our next broadcast. Until then, I guess we'll see you next time. Oh, before I forget, of course, KSL is a weekly tournament, so every single week we have you covered with some Korean Starcraft League action. So if you enjoyed it, follow us. Follow everyone to be notified for when we have our next event. Otherwise, thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for your support. Hasta luego. Bye.